Hello, I am Shawn King from Starting Point Photography at startingpointphotography.com. These videos are generally going to be for beginning digital photographers, folks who have a camera but don't know how to take better pictures either in the camera or create better pictures using software. Yesterday, I told you about a really cool iOS app called Waterlog, and I teased you with the idea that I can show you how to make your photos in Waterlog even better. Now, I cheated a little bit because I didn't just use Waterlog. I used another app that I use for every one of my photos. Every single photo I post to Twitter or to Facebook or to Flickr, whatever it might be, email, goes through this one app. And it might be surprising to you to find out that this one app is from Google. This is called Google Snapseed. Now, I'm showing you now on the Google website the web version of it, but I'm not really crazy about the web version. I much prefer the iOS version of this app because it just seems more user-friendly and easier to get into. Now, if you like Google+, use the Google web app if you like, but this one I prefer much more. So first thing I do with any image after I've taken it in my iOS device, my iPhone, or even my iPad, is I open it up in Snapseed. Snapseed has a really easy user interface. You can see here in the upper left-hand corner, there's an open button. I click on that. I choose my photo from the photo library, and we'll take the same picture that I was using in yesterday's demonstration. So it's a picture of just folks standing at the bus stop. Well, if you remember yesterday, I said one of the problems with the image was the crop. I didn't like the overhang you see in there in the upper left-hand side. So what you can do, the first thing I do for any photo is, and this is something I tell folks in the photography class, get rid of everything that's not important to your image. Use the crop, either physically move forward into the image before you take the picture or afterwards in software. Use the crop function of whatever software you're using to get rid of any distracting elements. So here, I'll show you how to do that with Snapseed. It's real easy. Down here in the left-hand side, you'll see it says crop. Simple as that, just crop. You choose that, this window pops up, and you just grab the bits of the box to create the crop. Now, you can crop tight to the people. You can keep some room there in the bottom. I'll leave some room there in the bottom for now. Next up, on the lower right-hand side, you click Apply. You can also see there's an undo feature there too. You can, in this next window, click on the Compare button, which is in the middle, and it shows you the before and after. So you decide whether or not you like that. And you know what? I don't. I don't like that. So I'm going to click on the Revert button. And it says all changes will be lost. Tap Revert to revert your image. There's the original image again. I'll go back to crop. This time I want to crop out the boring ground bits and the overhang on the right-hand side. But I want to keep some of the sky. I like the look of the sky in this image. So again, I click Apply. You can also see you can do ratio, you can do rotate, you can do a bunch of different things to it. So I click Apply. Next thing is, there's a bunch of other options here, but the next thing I always do is click on the Tune Image. Now this is where Snapseed becomes a lot of fun to use, but also ridiculously easy to use. That's why I love using Snapseed. You can use Snapseed when you're waiting in line at the bank, or you're sitting in the bus, or you're in the passenger seat of the car. It's really simple to use, and here's why. The user interface is real simple. Down here in the bottom it says brightness. Well, what I do is just drag my finger across the image. And you can see at the top it says brightness 75, 70, 60. So I drag brightness back and forth to try to get the image where I want it to be. I let go. Now the next thing, and this is where Snapseed becomes brilliant, the next thing I do is I scroll down on the image. See what pops up? It says brightness, ambiance, contrast, shadow. As I drag my finger up and down, I can choose these different options. So next thing is saturation. Now I know I'm going to, because this image is going to be taken into Waterlog, I know I want it to be brighter. I know Waterlog, because it's a watercolor, will soften a lot of the color. So I want to oversaturate the image more so than I would. And oversaturate simply means make brighter. So watch what I do here. So I click on saturation and I drag from left to right to really blow out the image's colors, to get as bright as I can. Next up, I'll choose warmth. And warmth is basically, it takes it from two ends of the color spectrum to cool or cold, blue, or warm, hot, brownish, orange, reddish, sunshine kind of. So watch what this effect happens as I choose to go from right to left for warmth. See how everything turns gold or brown depending on your point of view? But what I like about this is that look at the way it brings out the clouds in the top of the image. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this nice sunlight kind of, sunset kind of view of the clouds. Again, I click apply. And very quickly, Snapseed processes the image. Now, there's a whole bunch of other options here. You can play around with these. You can straighten your image. You can turn it into black and white. I'll do that real quick. That's a black and white version of it. I click the cancel button over here on the left. Drama. But the thing I really like about this is HDR escape. Now, HDR has got a bit of a deserved bad rap among photographers. If used too much, HDR, which stands for high dynamic range, if used too much, HDR really blows out an image, really makes it look otherworldly in some cases. So you want to use HDR in a selective kind of way, except when you're doing watercolor. Watch this. I'll click on HDR. And look at the way the image just popped. I'll do the compare before and after. There's the before, there's the after. Look at the dramatic difference in these two images. And this is what I really like about Snapseed. Now I'll tone down the HDR just a little bit, and then I'll hit apply again. Now here's the secret. This is, for me anyway, the secret to getting waterlog to look even better. Use HDR again. You don't have to use HDR just once on the image. You can use it over and over and over again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the image again, click on HDR escape again, and it's going to HDR the HDR. And it gets even more dramatic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back this down a little bit again. By the way, in HDR, you can choose brightness, saturation, smoothing. So let me play with the saturation a little bit. Now I'm really, really oversaturating it. This is not a good looking picture on its own. I think that's good. Filter strength, I click apply again. And once again, I go to HDR escape and do it one more time. Now it's getting a little bit too much. Now I think it's over the top, even for HDR. I'm going to back it down a little bit. Nope, it didn't back down far enough. So what I do then is I simply hit the cancel button. Now here's the image that I want. This is the image I think is going to be a good image in waterlog. I click save down here in the bottom. It successfully saved it. Now, one of the problems I have with Snapseed is it sometimes forgets to save things. So I want to click save again. Then I'm going to go to my camera roll and make sure it's in there before I do anything else. I want to make sure that the image I just created, and you'll see, it's not. Where is it? There it is. It's in my camera roll. So after I know it's saved to my camera roll, I'll go and open up waterlog. And there's waterlog. I'll click on the camera icon just like yesterday, go to the photo library, find the image I just created in Snapseed through camera roll, on the camera roll, and then open it up. And waterlog automatically grabs the last filter I used and starts doing its little magic on it. Now, maybe I like this image, maybe I don't. What I can do is let's see what color bloom will do for me, if that'll make any kind of difference to the quality of the image. It's painting it. Well, it's not too bad. I think I want to see if I can't get some more detail in the image. And I'll go to the giant section of waterlog and see if that won't work a little bit better for me. Watching it do choosing the brushes and the painting. I think there's some more detail in here. I kind of like this. Next up, I'm going to choose whether I want it to be darker or lighter in waterlog. I think normal looks good. I like the the background of it. Now here's the idea where I'm going to, as I said yesterday, just click the little heart icon on the lower right-hand side. Up pops the window that says, where do you want to save it to? I'll save it to Photos. Saving the high-quality image. And now I think this is a different image than the one looked at previously. If you remember, the one I used yesterday was a little bit more washed out than this one. And as always, as I always say about photography, it's always subjective. You may not like this image. You may not like this effect, but I do. And that's the important thing I try to teach to all beginning photographers, is it's what you like, what you think is creative or artistic or beautiful. It's all in your own subjective opinion. This is just one of the many tips. If you're interested, we do the photography class. We do an on-demand video photography class, live video, where you're watching me do the 10 tips and tricks I can teach you as a beginning photographer how to make your photographs better no matter what camera you use, whether you're using an iPhone or a point and shoot or DSLR. Check it out at startingpointphotography.com. Until the next time I do this, I've been Shawn King. Thanks very much for listening.